enabled by this piece of legislation. Let me begin by extending my very humble welcome to the Minister of Culture. Mr. Minister, you know the particular relationship I have with you. I don't derive any benefit in disagreeing with you on an issue, but I'm fully aware that the character of a person I know you have, this would not have been the origin of your thinking in producing this bill. Mr. President, we have listened to a lawyer, we have listened to a magistrate. They have all voiced out concerns that have to do with our living and our lives and those of our families and particular communities. I plead with this House, a dignified House, to have a feeling for those of us who are complaining. And if you take their complaints seriously, Mr. President, you should know that they are doing the right thing. But if this House and those who drafted this law imagine that doing what is right is wrong, then what is right in this country? You may be a Francophone, and you think that these concerns here are concerns that are emanating from English-speaking Cameroonians. But let me ask you a question. Imagine the poor villagers you have around Mulundu who may not be able to understand the English language are faced with an Anglophone magistrate who prefers to communicate with them or deliver judgment in English. In all honesty, tell this House how those villagers will feel. Mr. Minister, I live in where people commonly call ground zero today. If I finish from the session, I hardly spend 48 hours in Yaoundé. I struggle to get back to my village. I live in my village for villagers and my constituents to see me, to feel me, to touch me, and to deal with me on a daily basis. I am giving you a true picture of what the atmosphere is, what Mbella used to call an authentic eyewitness account. What has been common in this country today is that we sit in Yaoundé, and you, the authorities, sit in Yaoundé and glorify made-up stories and impressions about what is happening in our Anglophone regions. For once, take what we are telling you today and take it seriously, so that a bad situation does not repeat itself. Popular opinion now, today, amongst our populations of the Northwest and Southwest regions, believe that this bill is rather a poorly drafted piece of legislation. Wishy-washy, as some may put it. The bill is considered as intended to reignite the much talked about, or what is commonly described today as the Anglophone problem. Take, for instance, my colleagues have pointed to that, Section 26, 1 and 2. Considered by the average Northwesterner and Southwesterner as obnoxious. It truly betrays the very intentions to deny the people of the Northwest and Southwest regions the right to have English as an official working language and the right to practice the common law in their courts, which is what sent lawyers to the streets in 2016 and led to the situation that we are grappling with today. I was in Boya and I saw what happened. We should all be frank, sincere, to say that we are tired of seeing the blood of innocent Cameroonians flow on our streets. It is that same denial of the use of English as the language of instruction and practice of the English system of education in schools in the northwest and southwest regions that sent teachers on strike in 2016. Many in our English-speaking region see this bill as a slap on our faces, which will go a long way in enriching the separatist arguments. While I totally subscribe to the need to promote English and French as vectors of bilingualism in Cameroon, I believe that the working languages in the northwest and southwest regions on the one hand, and the 8 other regions on the other hand, should first be underlined. These are sacrosanct and should not be tampered with. It is already clear, Mr. President, that the agitations are ongoing in the northwest and southwest regions against any attempt to force Bill number 132/PGL/SEN/2L down our throats. Let us avoid tensions and stiff resistance, which may cause more trouble in the present socio-political climate that we are facing in this country. What the people of the northwest and southwest regions await today, most anxiously, Mr. President, Your Excellency, is the content of the special status proposed at the major national dialogue and highlighted by the head of state. If somebody is not disrespectful of the head of state, why should you at this time, now, bring this piece of legislation? Why? The head of state had said it. And so this should come first before other measures that many of the people we represent see in this bill as cosmetic. Frankly, Mr. Minister, this bill is poorly drafted. No one can convince me, and let me tell you before time, Mr. President, I will not vote for this bill. I cannot. It will be at the expense of my life. It will be at the expense of my life. It is going to put the security of my family in danger. It is going to put the security of my village in danger. The signals are there. Von Chaffer may not have put it rightly to you because, as he said, he has taken refuge in Yaoundé. I live with my family in my village. I live with my family in Boya. There is no way to get out of Boya without facing repercussions if this bill passes in a setting that I am present. And so, Mr. Minister, as I said, this bill is poorly drafted. I want to strongly advise, and this advice is the sum total of the wishes of the people I represent, that this action, the presentation of this bill, is not necessary now. And so it should be withdrawn. We have had a withdrawal of a bill in this House, and that brought a lot of credibility to this House. That was when we were deliberating on the penal code. As I said, when this bill is withdrawn, until legislation on the special status is passed, of course, it will go a long way in serving as a legal framework around which other cosmetic measures can be formulated. Let us not play into the hands of separatists, because this bill has serious potentials to radicalize even those who are moderate. Mr. President, as I said before, we are just saying what is right. But if saying what is right is wrong, then what is right in this country? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mbella. Parole est maintenant à Chief Anja.
Bonjour. Thank you, Mr. President, for giving me this opportunity to express my own views. I welcome the Minister with his entourage. The problem with this bill is the contextual form of it. In other words, those who have done languages, you will see with me that when you look at a sentence, you understand the meaning in a different way. And that is why the different disciplines or subjects have their own languages. In other words, words are interpreted differently according to the language or the subject in which it is used. Or it could be according to the phrase. So, if you look in that bill, words such as or, any, either, practice, or promotion, they have meanings which can bring problems, especially now that we want our nation to be in unity. And this bill has come again to ignite a problem which you and myself would be blamed as people who are of the upper house, the House of Lords. What is the meaning? People who are rich with wisdom. It does not mean that every bill that is approved or adopted in the lower house must be adopted by us. Then it means that we are just stooges. The head of state, when he took over power, he brought the idea of rigor and moralization. If you understand the meaning, the context of those two words, you will know that you and myself are not helping him. We want to approve this. We are fighting that we should approve this or we should adopt this bill to disgrace him. Because once you do anything, it is that he will be very happy to sign because we have approved it. My other colleagues have already analyzed the errors in that bill. You have effected some corrections, yes, I've seen. But if you look at 19, you still have the word either, which means it could be English or it could be French. Whereas it is that in every aspect, the two lingua franca, the two official languages must be used. Translation should go on. I am even very surprised that this very bill, its report was not written in English. But the French version came there. And I don't know why.